Okay, everyone, we're going to get started. Hello and welcome to today's webinar, One-on-One Marketing for More Referrals. Thank you for attending today's webinar. This is the #1 most requested webinar of 2010 in our series. We have a lot of great webinars now posted online, and if you've missed any past webinars, I'm going to give you an address where you can go and look at some of the ones from prior seasons. This is the first webinar. We're kicking off our summer webinar series. We're a little late, but we're going to get finished toward the end of August, and we're going to try to add a lot more coaching and value in this series than we've had in the past. I'm going to try to answer all your questions individually, or at least the ones that are most frequently asked at the end of today's session. We always get requests for slides. I'm going to show you where this particular webinar is loaded up on YouTube. It's online, and you can look it up yourself. Today, I just want to introduce myself in case you don't know who's talking to you. My name is Eric Crump. I'm one of the home care sales coaches here at TAG. We're a unique company in that we're a marketing company. We're full-service marketers. In other words, we do everything from the strategy to the end product. We have a great TAG team, we call ourselves, here in Franklin, Tennessee. We do everything from write and publish marketing pieces to design to web to IT results. We have a great CRM system. We have master publishers and printers in the back. I always tell everyone who attends our webinars, if you can dream it up as a marketing concept for home care, whether it's private duty, home health, or hospice, we can make it happen for you. We have a very powerful and creative team here at TAG, and we'd love to help you with your projects. This is how you can contact me, Eric Crump at theatomgrp.com. This is our toll-free number, 866-232-6477. To schedule a free coaching call anytime you want, you can go online to homecarecoachingcall.com. As you can imagine, we have hundreds of strategies, based mainly because we have hundreds of clients all across the country. So we hear what's working with certain clients, and we can adapt those ideas and share them with you. That's the great thing about marketing home care. All home care is local. And you can find all of our prior webinars at the address www.youtube.com/tag-webinars. I mentioned we were located in Franklin, Tennessee. Anytime you're in Tennessee and would like to come by, we'd love to give tours. We had a tour go through this morning for you to meet the creative team. We're very proud of all our support cast here at TAG, and you can get free samples. We'll even treat you to a snack or lunch maybe. But we're located about 20 miles south of Nashville. We've been a marketing firm serving hundreds of agencies in home care for the last 14 years. Together we have around 60 years of home care experience, and we create a lot of our marketing products. So customization's never a problem. We can make it look like you want it to look. We are very key on coaching and marketing sales teams. We provide customer relationship management, done-for-you personalized marketing collateral. We have a great loyalty program. We have tons and tons of ideas and tools for home care agencies to use. So one of the biggest mistakes we see out there is everybody tries to create on their own when it's not really necessary. You should work on your business as opposed to trying to work too much in your business. Today, it's going to be a webinar on personalized direct marketing. Like I said, this is one of the most requested webinars because a lot of people consider this. And before we even get started, I want to give you some do's and don'ts about direct marketing for home care. First of all, you have to have the initial benefit statement or the unique selling proposition. You have to have something that touches either the senior or your referral source that you're targeting. And I'll give you a big hint. It can't be about you. You have to make these campaigns about them. So it's got to be benefit driven. The root of personalized direct marketing is that it improves marketing effectiveness to your mailer. Otherwise, if you're just sending out something, telling them who you are and what you do, you're going to go in the B pile of the junk mail. And we all know where that ends up. So keep in mind, if you have a creative idea, if you have a creative call to action, we can turn it into a fantastic marketing strategy for you. So, in the golf outings, and they had to get back to basics off. It sends a message directly to your consumers. We'll talk about the benefits of that in just a second. It's a direct call to action. A really good direct mail campaign talks about the specific needs of specific populations and meets those needs in a unique way. And if you've thought about doing that and you have a universal message that you would like to send out to your service community, this is the way to go. It's an inexpensive way to reach a large target audience. So I touched on a little bit the bad rap on direct marketing is that it all is glanced at and thrown away. That's not exactly true. I bought a lawnmower off a direct marketing postcard this past spring. It's just got to mean something to the people that you put it in their hands. If you send out a general market mailer, your return on investment is minimal. However, today we're going to talk about the ways that you can send out direct mail to make it really effective and not end up in the B pile. Targeted variable data direct mail came to be through the pharmaceutical companies. The history of pharma sales is that they used to do kind of what we do, and that is go to referral sources and kind of beg for business. Try to show them a better mousetrap, try to use a benefit sale. But for the most part, it was kind of a relationship sale. It was relationship driven. So pharmaceutical companies used to make in-person contact like we try to do. And then along came the pharma regs, the Code of Interaction with Healthcare Professionals, in that they put some limitations on themselves on how they were going to conduct their business. They got too carried away with the yacht trips through the pharma list. And the pharma lists they're only directly to physicians anymore. Their efforts turn to consumer marketing, and they're one of the largest advertisers of radio, print, and television ads in the country today. Pharmaceutical advertising today, they spend $4 billion a year. It's actually $4.3 billion on ads direct to consumer. The average of 80 pharmaceutical ads every hour of the day on American television. Each American received 12 prescriptions last year compared to when they began direct-to-consumer marketing. It was 7. The average American was on 7 medications in 1992. The result is prescription use for drug companies are up 71% in the last decade. And there's no doubt that it's very effective, and now it's created an educated marketplace. So the benefits to your agency, if you were to try direct marketing now as opposed to maybe you tried it 5 or 6 years ago, it's a completely different service now. There's 52 million people with self-reported health-related conditions that are available to you. These condition-specific lists, and we'll get into that in a minute. But they're available in every market. You give us a zip code and a radius, we'll run the numbers, and we'll tell you how many seniors qualify or any customer base qualifies within that market. This can be compiled to target individuals with disease-specific conditions, and you'll see how that's really effective in the next few slides. So today, we have the ability to information gleaned from the pharma industry through self-reporting quizzes or ads for discounts to drugs. In other words, this is self-volunteered information that now lists consist and are compiled for diabetes, congestive heart failure, COPD, balanced gait abnormalities, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease, even mobility and bathing assistance. So you could target specific patient conditions or specific client profiles. In hospice, some of our most rewarding and effective postcard campaigns are for hospice because they reach populations in your service area that you can pinpoint, that actually are considering or should consider your service. And they don't depend so much on third-party referral sources. And that goes for all three of our major product service lines: private duty, skilled nursing and therapy services, and hospice. You know, we got to get out of the rut of waiting by the back door of the hospital, asking for discharges, begging for business. We got to hit the consumer with value statements and benefit where they are in their homes, and become most seniors today aren't informed about home care options. They just don't know, and it's our job as an industry to inform them. So we can use self-reported information to deliver your powerful, specific message. In home health, we raise community awareness for your specialty programs, and specialty programs seem to be the wave of the future. We are no longer general service providers. We have to show that we can provide specific outcomes for specific referral sectors. We're going to be, our payment depends on it. Our referrals sources payment depends on it. We're going to have to be experts with disease-specific care. This is the way to reach your target audience. And your target audience could be general consumers, or it could be clinicians, physicians in your community. Clinical referral sources learn of your programs through a patient. In other words, you have gone out with a benefit statement of your services as it pertains to any discharge population: cardiopulmonary, renal, diabetic, whatever your specialty program is. You reach that target audience, and all of a sudden they want the benefits of your agency taking care of them when they go to a referral source. And probably the biggest benefactor of these targeted lists is in private duty services, because you can target households in several ways. It used to be age and income and location. Now it's age, income, location. We have elderly parents living in the home. So this is kind of like the golden nugget of marketing. We always want to reach the decision makers, caring the caregivers in the home, caring for parents or loved ones. We have those lists of elderly parents living in the home. We can further target the list with additional drill downs for household or elderly parents. In other words, in the household, we can filter it by age, income, presence of children, net worth, whether or not they're a homeowner or renter. And with the parent themselves, age, gender, homeowner, home market value, net worth, and then further delineate the list by putting in disease-specific conditions of self-reporting conditions. So if you were targeting for a private duty service, someone still living in the home, your message would be, let us be the home care providers that help you age in place right there in your home. We can do adjunct care services, respite care services. When you need certain things done in the home, we can be your provider of choice. So you would tailor your message to an exact audience of benefit. In other words, if you were talking to seniors who suffer from rheumatoid arthritis, one of their big issues is laundry, because they have no grasp and they can't lift heavy clothing. Your services could be done 4 hours a day for what they pay in outside laundry service. Or it could be non-compliant diabetics who have to cook their own food and manage their own blood sugars, when in fact they're in and out of acute situations because they don't have portion control and they don't manage the correct dosage of their medications. So you can put a postcard out for adult caregivers that paints the picture of the care that you intend to provide that targeted audience. Now, the way our postcard campaigns work is that everyone gets a personalized URL. So they go in and they would enter in their personalized URL, because with our campaigns, they're directed to the specific person by name. So they would enter their information in, and here's some of the conditions that are available: Alzheimer's, anxiety, osteoarthritis, back pain, bed and bath assistance needed. Bed and bath assistance needed, that's a no-brainer, because that's probably one of our key benefits in non-medical private duty. Other conditions: incontinence, breast cancer, bronchitis, COPD, cancer, chronic fatigue syndrome, I mean, you name it. Chronic pain, colon cancer, Crohn's disease, depression, diabetes, foot ailments. And you can team up with other healthcare providers to do a dual campaign, postcard campaign, and reach some of these clients too. A dual campaign topics that would be great are high blood pressure, heart disease, post-heart attack, kidney problems, lung disease, macular degeneration, or low vision clients. And then more chronic conditions. So if you've ever been on a coaching call for private duty with me or any of the home care sales coaches here, we always tell you you can go disease specific with private duty care packages. If you can pinpoint the exact needs of discharged patient populations in certain referral sectors, you can get that business. Also, if you have these lists that have already gleaned out the self-reporting of these conditions and hit them with that benefit statement, you have a great return on investment. So you continue with migraines, mobility assistance, MS, obesity, osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, Parkinson's, prostate cancer, psoriatic arthritis, respiratory ailments. I mean, the list goes on and on. Rheumatism, rheumatoid arthritis, spinal injuries, vision care and condition, wheelchair assistance needed. So just about, if you can create a specialized care package, and we can even help you do that, and put in bullet points of the care that you intend to provide some of these clients, and reach those clients, and only those clients, it's great return on investment. So here's an actual example. There are 1,346 homeowners age 65 plus with a net worth of greater than $75,000 within a 30-mile radius of the center city, Chicago, who have self-reported one of the following attributes. And here are the 6 that we screened: wheelchair assistance needed, bed and bath assistance needed, Alzheimer's, MS, mobility problems or assistance needed, and Parkinson's disease. So we did the screening on those homeowners. I just want to go back and tell you that the original screening, without the condition-specific indicators, brought up almost 240,000 as a count. Once we put in the condition-specific self-reported criteria, it came down to 1,346. So a targeted campaign versus a static campaign. So a static campaign cost per postcard $1.25. You would have to send it to 10,000 people, individuals in the general population if you didn't put the self-reported screenings in, and your total campaign investment would be $12,500. Whereas if you put the screen in, then you would buy the list for $350. Your price per card is a little bit higher because it is a specialized card with a pearl in the back end, and you send it to only 1,346 individuals with the self-reported conditions. Your return on investment then, the total campaign investment is only $1,870. So you've probably all heard in marketing the shotgun effect versus the rifle effect, right? This is a laser effect. This is getting the avatar of your client base, and only the avatar of your client base, notified of your specialty program. So your end result is, out of all the seniors who qualified within 30 miles of downtown Chicago, you cherry pick the ones who could be your clients. So it's a great return on investment, and these are fairly new abilities. The other thing we can do is we can target skilled service. We can target your M-coding, your primary diagnosis in home health. That's one of the criteria. The mobility issues. We can target mobility issues with therapy programs. And of course, we just went through an example where we targeted non-medical clients. So I want to give you a little bit of history of direct mail and how it got such a bad rap. But remember, this is a totally blue ocean strategy. If you were to put it in terms of why should I do this, it's obvious. In home health and private duty, you want to get the client as early as possible. You want to get the client before they're touched by an acute setting. Because once they're touched by an acute setting, two things happen. You don't have as much influence, and the competition is through the roof. So that's why we say that reaching the seniors where they live is a blue ocean strategy, because there's a ton of fish over there. And going to clinical referral sources and begging for business is a red ocean strategy. We have effective ways to reach clinical referral sources, but man, you have got a lot of competition over there. So for that reason alone, you should try this strategy as one of your weapons in your arsenal. So in the 1980s, toll-free numbers on direct mail pieces, the first rendition of the call to action, they were pretty new. And so these postcard campaigns had a really big effect, because back then we were all used to getting our mail, and that was the primary source of our daily information. So a host of different industries joined the bandwagon, right? But things changed. So in the 1990s, information linked from inbound calls to recipients' names and addresses. In other words, we could get leads lists, and we could place our web addresses and direct mail information. We got a little smarter with how we're touching our clients and how they can get back in touch with us. Our responses weren't correlated with the mailer. There were other calls to action, telephone or internet. But the problem was your return on investment, it was impossible to track, because you never knew the action steps that led your clients to your door. So in the 2000s, lists were narrowed by age, gender, income level, race, ethnicity, and locale. Personalized web addresses were invented, so people can go online and fill out questionnaires. Companies could gather individual response rates, because people were individualized through these personalized URLs. We could track how many distinct individuals were returning on our investment versus one person doing it 1,000 times. And therefore, return on investment tracking became a reality. So now we have the ability to target specific by age, race, ethnicity, gender, name, and send out a specific message to an individual that has a call to action. Like on this postcard example, there's a call to action. Please visit your personalized website today for information and to receive your free Magnalite, or free in-home assessment, or free respite care package. Whatever your call to action giveaway would be, that's what would be on your postcard. And then it has their individual personalized URL address, which on this one is janesmith.yourwebsitehere.com, with their own individualized postcards, and of course your logo and coloration. Your agency would be branded on this. And then on the other side, you give a description about what your intent to deliver is and your services, and a little bit about your agency. I want you to do an even better job at this than this example. I want you to just create an audacious initial benefit statement. I just want you to figure out what your clients need out in the market and just deliver it through care packages. And by care packages, I mean design 4 hours of the top 5 or 6 critical things that your target population that you're targeting needs. Create that package and give it to them with a set price and say, here's our benefit of using our agency. Your quality of life is increased. And because we can handle these things, we can handle them 1 day a week, or we can handle them 7 days a week. We can do it 4 hours a day, or we can do it 24 hours a day. But this is the benefit to your quality of life. So here's another example of Mr. Smith, who is an older gentleman, Caucasian, with a sly little smile. But he also has a personalized URL with an action step at the bottom with, again, the same call to action. And here's other examples of how personalized design and call to action works with postcard design. We can reach any age, any ethnicity, any disease-specific condition portrayal that you want. They're very effective. So here's how your personalized URL works. First of all, they go to a personalized welcome page or landing page, and it addresses them by name. It says, answer a few questions. It says a little bit about your agency, and in the end, you're going to receive your free Magnalite or free whatever your call to action gift is. So it says in the descript that the home care agency is dedicated to providing safe and caring, compassionate care to allow your loved one to remain independent and in the comfort of their own home. All that can say whatever you want it to say. I want you guys to have an initial benefit statement that wows your local agency and our local community service area. And there's plenty of ways to do it. I'm going to be honest. This is a boring postcard, right? You could use humor. You can use such a targeted benefit, specific things that are needed to be done. You can do a cost analysis of the money that it would take using other services to get the same thing done. You can do all kinds of things with these postcards. These are just examples. In the personalized URL, the survey questions page, you upload what you want to know about your contacts, and they can fill out as many. Now, we suggest that you limit them to about 10 to 12 questions on your personalized URL, but you can ask them any specific information that you need to know from your contacts. So on this particular one, it is, what services are you interested in receiving? and they would click through and answer all these, and you would be given a report on all their responses. Once they submit it, here's your back-end report. Please confirm and verify your information below is correct so that we can follow up with you in a timely manner. So their user information and contact information is there, and there's your contact information sheet with all of their specific wants and desires, right? So as marketers in home care, the most treasured information we can have are the specific needs of our referral base, right? Because otherwise we just all sound alike. We all show up and we try to compare our compassion and love for the market, and nobody buys that much anymore. You know, nobody is convinced that you're going to love their grandpa more than they do after meeting them for 15 minutes. You're going to have to go with a benefits message, and this is a way to find out what they're exactly interested in and how to build up a care package that would mean sense and be attractive to this particular client. So then they get a thank you. Jane, thank you for taking the time to respond to our questionnaire. One of our representatives will be in touch with you shortly. We look forward to serving you. And again, that's all can be customized to your message. And then you have a back-end log where you go in and you can log into what we call our dashboard, so you can monitor all your lead reports, activity reports, campaign results, a graph, emails, your return on investment calculator. So you're your own little CEO of this campaign, and you control the direction of future campaigns. So I always say that your second campaign is a lot more effective than your initial campaign because you're going to learn a lot of things along the way. But this is one weapon in your arsenal that you would put in that's kind of hands-off. This works for you. So this is a look at the leads generated page. And you could click on any one of the leads and view it as an individual lead. And so the contact information would be there with that individual client that responded to your campaign and their visit information, where they went, how much time they spent, what they're interested in. You can put all these in a spreadsheet and download them in the spreadsheet. So here is a personalized postcard for clinical referral source. This happens to be a home health campaign. It's very similar to one that we're currently running for a client, but it's talking about their diabetic program for non-compliant patients that are confined to the home. So if you have a specialty program, a lot of people are putting together cardiopulmonary specialty programs for their local hospitals because that's on their radar. A lot of our clients are putting together specialty programs for pressure ulcers, for skilled nursing and in nursing home with acute halls because that's on their radar. So we have a lot of different ways to reach your clinical referral sources with your specialty market and add the benefit. And again, this is a pretty generic postcard, but it's hitting Dr. James being a young African-American physician. Dr. Ramirez is looking for the same diabetic program. This is the same campaign, everyone. The exact same variable data has put out this postcard to look expressly unlike the prior postcard. So you're going to hit them with variable data that makes sense to who's receiving it, and it's far more effective that way. So this home care agency is offering a clinically proven program for patients suffering from peripheral neuropathy. Suppose you've got the latest, greatest gadget for peripheral neuropathy and you're wanting to build a marketing campaign around it. This is the way to go. Tag home care marketing coaches. We all provide additional help in developing your strategy, but of course you call the shots. We just are here to facilitate. The great thing about using us is not only do we have personal experience Like I was a home health marketer. I was a home health marketing supervisor. I ran a private duty agency. But we also are hearing from your fellow soldiers in the field, probably 30 a day on average, calling in, telling us what's working, what's not working, what's the latest ideas, can you do this for me, can you do that for me. And because all home care is local, we can give you the benefit of all that knowledge. So we have boots on the ground, real world experience. This is not somebody telling you that home care and private duty and hospice is still a relationship sale, because it's not. It hasn't been for a while. And that's why a lot of people who are still showing up with bagels and donuts and personalized birthday cards are suffering right now, because home care is a benefit sale. So coaches for every aspect of home care are here to answer any of your questions and provide you with strategies and different alternatives to bumping into the same glass window every day, saying the exact same thing. So, in summary, I just laid out a tremendous blue ocean strategy for you. Some of you, it'll be an idea and put it on your wish list. Some of you, I want you to take action on it, because that's the brave souls that are on the webinar. I think I can show you where it's cost effective and targeted. It's a dream campaign, and it's as good as your unique selling proposition or your initial benefit statement makes it. We've had great success with a lot of hands-on targeted material. We'll keep your sales pipeline full of prospects all year long. This is a passive marketing plan that you can roll out once a quarter, twice a year, once a year, but it adds to your total marketing strategy. In other words, this is another weapon in your arsenal of going and getting referrals. And you can track your return on investment, so you can actually watch your investment turn as you go with your referral base and it grows. So here's my initial power punch. So up until now, all the pressure's been on me in delivering this webinar. I know some of you know me personally. I see who all's on the webinar. Just so you know, it's a little wacky. I took my pills this morning. One dropped. I didn't know which one it was, but I've been a little bit off script for the whole webinar. I hope you saw value in it. Our big campaign offer to you today is 20% off your initial campaign and all subsequent campaigns for a full year, right? So we're going to take the cost, total cost, and you pay only 4/5 of it. So there's been no better time to try this than right now, right? You think about it. It gives you market exclusivity to screen prospects for an entire year. No, we don't run concurrent campaigns in the same service area. We'll lock out your service area for the duration of your campaign. Most campaigns we leave open for 6 to 8 weeks to get all the return. All costs are calculated by piece price. Of course, the price gets cheaper, the number of contacts you're reaching out to, and as the number of in the count for your campaign goes up. I'll also, if you inquire through this webinar, run your conditions list and give you a free estimate on your first campaign. In other words, you come up with the qualifiers, or call us and we'll give you a template for the qualifiers. And we'll run the numbers in your local area and tell you what the numbers come up to. And we'll do all that with no commitment, no further commitment needed. So now I'm going to address a couple of questions that came in during the presentation. Again, my name is Eric. It stands for Every Referral is Critical. I'm going to trademark that in the next couple of weeks or so. But my address is eric.crump@theadamgroup.com, and there's our toll-free number. Again, if you need to see this webinar or others in prior seasons, this is the first one for the summer series, and hats off to Miranda Fuller and Heidi Glick for putting all this together in the new design for our summer webinar series. It's beautiful. But you can search other webinar series at www.youtube.com/TAGWEBINARS, tag webinars. And you can contact us at www.homecarecoachingcall.com. And here's a question. I can view the slides, but I can't hear. Okay, we got that fixed. And here's one that's asked a couple of times. Eric, if we wanted to run a list on a geographic disease specific, what's the cost? The cost for the list is a flat $350. The cost per campaign is relative to how many individual people you're going to send the list out to. In other words, remember the screen where we did this example to Chicago was $1,346. You could have a campaign that would be only 800 or 900. We don't, as far as return on investment, we don't really recommend that you guys do much less than 1,000 because that's a good manageable number. So we can put in another variable or increase the net worth or put something in there to reduce your numbers down. So we can make the target be in plus or minus 25 of 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, wherever you want it to be. So that's a question. Do these lists include email addresses? The lists include whatever you ask them on the questionnaire. If you're asking them for the email address and it's a mandatory field for them to get their free gift, then yes, your back-end response would have the email directed to it. But the list, the flat list condition specific is just, it doesn't have email addresses when we buy it. But certainly your contacts, filling your fields in, you can glean your emails to your clients that way. And you need to build up a client base and reach out to them on a regular basis, start marketing your services more. Eric, go back to the coaching call sheet. And Cindy's saying she's glad I didn't take that one pill. She likes it better when I'm a little nuts. Well, thank you, Cindy. Now, when I open the door and go back in the hallway, we'll see if that works. But here's the coaching call site where you can log in and get a free coaching call. I always take the coaching calls that come in off the webinars, and I love to do them. But they consist of me asking you a couple of simple questions about where your greatest needs are, and then I'll throw out some suggestions to you on items that you might try and might work for you in a specific market. And we got a little, here's another question. Can I run the same list more than once? And yeah, you can run it as much as you want. This is, the 350 is a one-time use on the list. We can get you a year's license to use a list when you get it, and you can buy the list by itself without the campaign, but you would have to call in for those prices on that. Here's a good question from Doug. Is this targeted mailing also applicable to home care or home health? Or is this prohibited as solicitation? You're not soliciting the opening for skilled services. You're just putting out there your specialty programs. But this is a branding for home health. And another great thing that we didn't go over that I probably should, and I'm going to add to the next, if we do this webinar again, is that you can bring them into events through postcard campaigns, like your annual wellness events. But you can bring them into senior luncheons and not pass the individual threshold, provide a lunch and education, and then close them in third person by saying, here's what we do. We put people back in the game. We provide services for shut-ins, chronic condition people that are having a hard time in their home. So if you know someone like that, here's our business cards, and this is what we can do to help them. We'll contact their doctor and go out and check on them tomorrow. And this is not direct solicitation, and these type of events, we call them senior luncheon campaigns, but we have other senior event campaigns as well. They usually yield, on average, about 6 to 7 skilled nursing openings per event, per 100. If you get 100 people in, 6 to 7 referrals. I think our record is 17, and we've never had an event where we didn't have at least a single skilled opening as a result. And you're going to have contacts lists off these people coming to events, and you can capture them as an audience. So that's the majority of the questions. I appreciate everyone's time. I know I've taken up a good bit of it. That's the bad thing about going to YouTube. On the ones you can always tell when I'm the host, because they're the ones that have 5 different links, 15 minutes each. But if anybody has any questions, I'm going to leave my contact information up on the screen. Be sure to call in, talk to Reba, Cindy, some member of the home care sales team here will be glad to help you and take us up on those free offers. And I hope everybody starts realizing it's a different time now. We got to try different things. So your call to action is go out and provide your client base the exact thing that they're looking for, and I'm pretty sure they'll buy from you. So this is Eric. Have a great day, and thank you guys. Bye-bye.